You may be seated. Good morning, teachers, staff, and students of Wilmington High School, honored guests, and family members. My name is Specialist Joshua Faith, and I'm a member of the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I am also a teacher here at Wilmington High School. Once again, I am truly honored and humbled to be given the opportunity to speak to you today. As I've mentioned before, Veterans Day is a special day for me, because it is a day that we remember those who have faithfully served their country, and to further commemorate those who fought valiantly against terror and tyranny in all theaters of the world. To my fellow brothers and sisters in arms, as a citizen of the United States and of Wilmington, New Mexico, thank you. Thank you for your selfless sacrifice in paving the way for future soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines today and tomorrow. This is your day, and I hope that we as a community can honor you in a manner in which you all deserve. Once again, it's been difficult to find the adequate words to celebrate such a day, so I will do my very best to begin to even scratch the surface of doing so. When thinking about Veterans Day, one cannot help but feel a sense of pride, but also embrace a sense of humility when remembering those who have fought for our inalienable rights. The feeling is a sentiment of unity, a sense of togetherness, and that's what makes us Americans. We are an independent people, hardworking, accepting, unwavering, persistent, and courageous. These are the very qualities that every man and woman in attendance today has exhibited in their lives, whether it be on the battlefield or not. They possess the qualities that make up the fabric of an American, and that we are grateful. So my challenge for you students today is to ask yourself, am I a patriot? What does that mean to be a patriot? Does that mean that I must wear a uniform, or carry a rifle, or wear ridiculous flag-draped attire? Or for you literal ones in the audience, to deflate footballs? It's a dad joke. Ponder this question for a while. What does it mean to be a patriot? And if you can identify with any of these traits I'm about to give you, you will realize that you can be an exceptional patriot yourself. First, a patriot recognizes the inalienable, God-given rights ordained to all citizens within the U.S. Constitution. We recognize that this country was founded on natural law, and we understand the impact that these natural rights have on our lives and fellow Americans' lives. These rights, the true statement within the Declaration of Independence, are endowed by our Creator that we may pursue a life of liberty and happiness. Our veterans before us today sacrificed for us to continue to have these rights as Americans. A true patriot realizes the significance of these rights, but also understands his or her duties. A duty to protect the Republic, a duty to make his or her country a better place for generations to come. It's easy to sit back and let someone else do the work, but a zealous patriot will join the fight and commit to make our country or community better, for the most part, because it's been good to them. Therefore, as stated by James Madison, it's our duty to ensure the blessings for ourselves and our posterity. American veterans are an honorable people, pledging to uphold the integrity of this country and securing the liberty of all generations to come. A patriot loves their home and their country and makes a fervent commitment to continue to improve upon it. A patriot also acknowledges and respects the generations that came before them. Growing up, when I heard the term patriot, my mind immediately envisioned my grandparents' generation, the greatest generation. A generation whose fathers fought in the Great War, endured the agony of the Great Depression, fought valiantly on foreign shores during World War II, whose sons fought in the jungles of Vietnam, and whose grandchildren and great-grandchildren continue to fight against terror and tyranny today. To quote General George Patton, "Wars may be fought with weapons, but they are won by men. It is the spirit of men who follow and of the man who leads that gains victory." We must never forget the legacy that's been forged in fire by these Americans. A patriot is hardworking and sacrificial, willing to put the lives of others above their own. Constitutionalist Mark Levin, when referring to the hard work of Americans, states, "Whatever my income is, whatever your income is, working people, blue collar, white collar, we are Americans. We are defined by our hard work and how we sacrifice for others. These men and women before us today are not separated by social or economic class. They are Americans. And because of that, they cannot and will not be divided over petty issues. When we think of veterans and their families, we must remember sacrifice. The time spent away, either at home or abroad, the birthdays missed, the vacations put on hold, all for the betterment of this country and to fulfill an obligation to serve. This is the sacrifice of a patriot. And we must also understand, all gave some, but some gave all. The true measure of a patriot and of an American serviceman is courage. Mark Twain said, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear." Courage is easily talked about, but difficult to carry out in times of ultimate duress. Courage is what sets normal men apart from extraordinary men, whose legacy will live on forever, whose names will never cease to exist, and those that now guard the mansions of the Lord. Men like Tony Bostic and Aaron Austin. These men displayed a valiant spirit and supreme courage while under the most extreme conditions. We can only hope to have the opportunity to show a morsel of courage that these brave men showed. Though not exactly historic, Braveheart is one of my favorite movies. I admire Mel Gibson's portrayal of Scottish patriot William Wallace. The method in which he motivated his fellow countrymen to overthrow English tyranny is inspiring. Everyone remembers the gruff cry of freedom, the moment before his execution, or the speech he gave the Scottish army before the Battle of Stirling. But the most profound quote of the movie is when Wallace is talking to Robert the Bruce, heir of the Scottish throne, and he simply tells him, "Men don't follow titles, they follow courage." Regardless of your status, rank, ethnicity, race, or creed, you can lead by being courageous. Many of our guests today have displayed that very courage in which I'm referencing. Many of them were deployed. Some may have seen combat, or had been in a compromising situation that had a bleak outlook, but they chose to carry the banner of courage into battle. And for that, we are forever grateful for exemplifying to us what it means to be courageous and persistent, and to continue on with the mission. These are qualities of Americans, but more importantly, of those that defend our liberties. To quote the 33rd President of the United States, Harry Truman, "America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. Be courageous, be strong, and never let fear decide your fate." In closing, let me read an excerpt from a poem by the great warrior Tecumseh. "When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home." Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. Again, Veterans Day is special to me, and I am honored to spend it addressing you. Let us be of grateful spirit today. Let us work to accept the challenge of being a patriot and to continue the legacy of great Americans that came before us. Let us be courageous by looking danger in the eyes, only to run into the fire and carry on with the mission. Finally, in the words of Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, I will fight like a wildcat to the day I die. God bless our vets. God bless the United States. And fight on forever. One element that we decided to add to the ceremony this year was the reading of the names of Lovington alumni and friends that have been killed in action. These men faithfully served their country and paid the ultimate sacrifice. These were men who lived in the same town as you and I, walked the same halls, had friends, girlfriends, parents, and siblings, and they were wildcats. It is important to remember their legacy and to never let that die. It is our responsibility to ensure that their names live on forever. On the night before Jesus paid his ultimate sacrifice, he dined with his closest friends. Foreshadowing upon his own impending death, he said these words: "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." I want to read for you a poem before I ask you to stand. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely sing and fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, lived, loved, and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders field. It is my distinguished honor to recite the names of our local heroes. Please help me honor these men by standing as I read their names, followed by a tribute to their service. Lieutenant Terry L. Trainer, class of '62, Binh Duong Province, TAPS, March 13, 1968. Sergeant John Allen Rickles, class of '62, Binh Duong Province, TAPS, January 29, 1968. Sergeant Ronald Eugene McCraw, class of '64, Alnea Province, TAPS, March 14, 1968. Lance Corporal Reynaldo Guzman, class of '64, Quang Nam Province, TAPS, January 25, 1966. Lance Corporal Edward E. Davies, class of '64, Quang Nam Province, TAPS, August 22, 1968. Specialist Ennis Eugene Crow, class of '65, Tay Nine Province, TAPS, January 2, 1968. Lance Corporal Harold E. Haggard, class of '67, Quang Nam Province, TAPS, January 6, 1968. Major Thomas Gordon Bostic, Jr., class of '88, KMU, Afghanistan, TAPS, January 27, 2007. Lance Corporal Aaron Cole Austin, class of '01, Fallujah, Iraq, TAPS, April 26, 2004. Specialist Hernando Beltran Jr., class of '08, Los Limones, Guatemala, TAPS, April 22, 2014. Thank you. You may be seated.
What is that making the people back home?
Well, it sure hit me hard because those countries over there is like our states here. They're small, what we carry They since we had those trucks to pull our guns, the government decided to send us with the people that Germany had got to work in their shops. And so we carried them back, and I got to go 3 times to different countries. And we just carried them in there, let them out in different towns, and got back. That's about all there was to that. And we come home, we just went down to, it kind of got me when I was in the ocean up there for 18 months, and it got to my fins worse than any part of me. They still stay cold just any time you shake hands with me, because they got so cold out there on the ocean that it just stayed with me the rest of my life. Oh, yeah, here in the U.S., when I got back, I worked I was raised northeast of Roswell, and my wife was at Roswell when I come back, and I got her and come up here because my brother and one sister was here. So I came up to be near them, and I come in, and a man, I can't remember his name, but he had a house out on the railroad that he carried out anything ranchers had, and they had sheep and goats out on the ridge then. And we carried all that out to his house, and I worked for him from the last of January to the 1st of July. And it came running. I was running the truck, the hallway stuff, and what I went to Roswell to get cow feed for him to sell. Then after he couldn't use me because it rained, so I come and asked my brother again, and he said, go down and ask, I can't think his name, what was it?
Jess Benson. Was that Jess Benson?
Yeah,
I served for 2 years. I was basically drafted, and when you're drafted, you go in for 2 years, and I served 2 years and got out. I drove a tank. I was in the Army Division in Kansas, and we trained on the tanks, and I eventually became a tank driver. And when I went to Vietnam, that's what I did over there, to drive a tank. Just running through the jungles, shooting down trees, man. I feel like that I've matured and I've learned a lot. I think that it has helped me, and personally, I think everybody should spend some time in the military. I think it'd be good for the country and good for them.
well, it just bothers me. I thought everybody should do that.
It upsets me. I don't like it. I feel like they have a right to do it, but not when they're on the job getting paid to do a job. If they want to